I went to Arizona, and we were doing Flopbuster and really just focusing on that. But as much as I love doing, talking about movies and podcasting and stuff, I just really wanted to get back into making films and doing something my own way. So it started off with just kind of rebuilding myself, going back to my roots, and that's making videos and making myself laugh with me and my cousin. So me and him, when I got my camcorder, it was a Sony in 2009 or whatever year it was, when I was in like freshman or eighth grade, whatever. We would make videos and skits and just make each other laugh, whether it's, doing something with zombies or, something slapstick, whatever it was. Me and Gabe had a conversation with a great filmmaker named Francis Galuppi, who did The Last Stop in Yuma County, which I really enjoyed. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year. And off camera, we had at least a 10-minute conversation about filmmaking, and he asked me about, certain projects and my writing. And me and Gabe, it just really got the creative juices flowing, where we were just like, we should make something like now, something that we can do on a tiny budget, if a budget at all. So that's where it really started, was making those shorts and that conversation with Francis.
Where did the idea of this short film Bandits come from? Like, what's the genesis of that?
Yeah, so me and Gabe wrote a script maybe 2 years ago, a year ago now, called Laid. And it was our homage to films like The 40-Year-Old Virgin, but with a slight twist. It was like a Judd Apatow movie if it was American Werewolf in London or like The Howling. And we wanted to do something that was like meshing the two genres. And we realized, like, we did about 3 drafts and we love it, but we were, as it stands, we're like, there's no way we're going to make this. And we haven't made anything to gain the trust of people I know, and like even the film community in Chicago, friends that are, cinematographers or anything. I haven't made anything to get them to come aboard, and we do this. The budget would have been too much. So
this was a feature, right?
It would have been a 30-minute short.
Oh, it would have been a 30-minute short.
It was like proof of concept.
Because you've been writing features too, right?
Yeah, so as much as I gave up on filmmaking a little bit, I was still doing screenplays. Like, I know I sent Gabe a couple of things I wrote. I entered a couple of contests. So just to like keep the creative juices flowing, I wrote like 2 features in Arizona. Mostly just things that I kept to myself, and it was, just fun exercise to see if I could still like write and have fun doing it and enjoy what I'm doing. So yeah, I wrote a few features. But Laid was something we were very proud of, but there was budget constraints, and it was going to be a hard sell. So we started talking when I moved back immediately, what's something we can do now, and something with friends, and we're going to have to act. And at one point I was going to be in it as well. And we started scheduling. We said, all right, we got a Tuesday and a Wednesday in 2 weeks coming up. Everybody is free. So I banged out the script in one night. I storyboarded, I shot listed, we called around who wanted to be in the short. We got locations. And then, the days were approaching. Victoria, my fiance, we got her in a makeup. We started getting props and whatnot. Had more conversations about it. And there was a lot of things that we, didn't plan, and we didn't think of, really stupid things that you're supposed to. But well,
it wouldn't be a proper short film if there weren't mistakes made along the way, Oh,
there's a ton, man. There's a ton in this, but it was a cool process, because like it's almost like I found myself again. And I've made shorts in film school. I've worked on features, whether it's like a PA or whatever, and it's fun and it's cool. But it's great when you have something that you're just proud of on your own, even warts and all. And there's a lot of things that I wish I could correct that or change that, but we were just so happy with the whole process. But yeah, that's where it really started. It was me and Gabe having this conversation of what can we do now? And for me, it was like, well, let's just highlight comedy, and let's highlight what we can do. And, this is a very situational short. It's not very story driven. It's about a bunch of idiots who work for a gangster and the mishaps that they go through. And yeah, I feel like that's what we accomplished with it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get your influences on the record, but some really stood out to me. Tell me if I'm off base with this, but like Quentin Tarantino was the first one that stood out to me.
It's funny. Everybody knows I love Tarantino. Chad Sumner, who does films too. He mentioned that to me as well. But I wasn't even thinking of Tarantino actually when I was thinking like oddly enough like like Midnight Run and like Pineapple Express.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
nice.
That makes you can see that too. I mean, like having Gabe in there, and was it Julian? Is that the other?
Yeah, that's my cousin Julian in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that guy was your cousin. Okay.
Yeah, he is. That's my.
Having Gabe in there, and I remember sending you a text. I was extremely fortunate to be able to see a rough cut before it came out, and then seeing it once it was put together was really cool and really rewarding. But seeing the way that Gabe played into it was really fun, I think, and the fact that it was such like a almost like a family production. Everybody in there is somebody related to you. Victoria, like you said, your fiance is awesome makeup artist. I don't know if anybody out there is listening has seen her work before, but she does great work. I want to ask you, kind of putting this thing together and kind of getting all the pieces in place. There were a lot of there were some extra characters, and that's always a risk, right? When you have a team and it's kind of a core team, you have two people in here that I didn't recognize from other work that you've done before, at least two people. So what was that like, kind of getting the core together and then, kind of expanding out and getting some others like, the crime boss or like, what was it? Jackie?
Jackie, the stoner character. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that all kind of come together for you?
Oh, and I do want to mention there is a little bit of Tarantino in the stoner character, Eric Stoltz in Pulp Fiction. And we were definitely thinking of that a little bit.
What really jumped out to me was I'm not going to spoil this short at all for any of our audience members who will get it to see it for the first time, but I shot Marvin in the face. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah.
That jumped out at me that as a possible point of inspiration. But that's cool. Like I love skipping right past Tarantino and seeing more like I'd say more deeply kind of like film bro influences like Midnight Run. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that the Midnight Run and Pulp Fiction are hard to shake as movies for me, because the way I saw them and what I wanted to write, like as a child, 12 years old, to me those are like the coolest movies in the world. You show to a 12-year-old kid who thinks, guns are cool and dialogue's cool and like, oh, they're the way they're talking, the way they're moving and stuff. And Midnight Run's so deeply connected to Chicago and Dennis Farina and everybody in that movie, in that production. So those. What was the question, Connor, you had? Oh, about the other people involved in the movie.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so for the character Ray, which is the mob boss they work for, that was supposed to be me. And we were going to age myself up just a tiny bit, and I was going to do it like a Joe Pesci kind of thing. And I had like a voice. It was going to be completely different. And we shot that in front of my apartment. We have a parkade across the street. And that's the first scene that we shot. And we ran into a whole list of problems there too, which I'll get to. But we were like, fuck, should I play the gangster? And I did the voice and I read the lines and I was looking at it. And then Gabe was like, oh, well, how about Herbie? Herbie is Gabe's cousin. He's a mortgage broker. And he's just a really cool guy. He's really funny. And I said, I think I could get a performance out of it. And I texted Herbie and I said, do you want to play the mob boss? It's like one scene. It's like a minute top. So like, we'll get you in and we'll get you out. And he's like, yeah, what time? And we told him the time. He showed up at like 10 in the morning. We went across. We quickly shot the scene. I didn't know if he was prepared. I knew he had the script. He said he read the dialogue over and over. And it was so fast because he knew exactly what he was going to do. I really didn't have too many notes. I did a couple things his way and then, certain approaches I wanted my way. And I just let it play out. And he was kind of perfect for it. It made more sense to have somebody like that than me. But I felt like it elevated it a little bit because it made it seem like we won and got actors, which we didn't.
Well, do you think that also helped you focus more on the directing? Because, I had to double up as director and actor, which of course kind of like pegs you as like a narcissist to a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
if I could have gotten a professional actor, believe me, I would have. So once you are able to like get somebody that you can trust, I feel like that definitely frees up my ability to direct, because I mean you don't want to have to wear as many hats as there are roles on the film set.
No, exactly, and that's what it felt like. And it helps that I know everybody too. I'm very comfortable with these guys. Like, Herbie, I see him a lot because he's cousins with Gabe, so I'll see him at parties or karaoke or whatever. So it's very it's relaxing, and again, it goes back to what I talked about, where it's like I kind of had to rebuild myself in terms of a filmmaker, because I was so young when I went to film school. I never really had the opportunities, and it was a lot of missed chances. And it was like, okay, I get to make something on a very small scale. We spent $300 on this movie. Most of it went towards food and paying for the score. I could just focus on the directing and, coming in with a plan, coming in with a shot list, storyboard, getting the performance out of the actors, going straight for the comedy without worrying about, oh, fuck, I have to play this role. And does it work? Are they going to tell me if I'm bringing it, because they're my friends and I kind of have to direct myself and them in this scene, and who's going to be operating the camera? We went up there and we just got right to work. We knew exactly what we were getting. I got the performances I needed out of them, and I couldn't help but laugh because I was operating it. So I was like, oh man, I hope the camera's not like shaking or anything like that, because I'm enjoying what they're doing here. So it was cool. It was awesome to not have to direct yourself, but again, with those other things, I guess I didn't take it as seriously, because it's just me and like I'm holding the camera, or I have Victoria holding the camera for me. This time I just got to focus on the performances and, the scene itself.
And how much of this shoot would you say was pre-planned versus spontaneous? I know you mentioned, doing a shot list, doing a storyboard, but how much of that plan came to fruition as thoroughly as you had planned it versus execution on the day of?
I would say like 50%.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
No, yeah, that's pretty good.
No, man, the script was when I wrote it, I sent it to the guys and I said, I want the vibe to almost be like a Safdie Brothers movie, where it's like so fucking anxiety driven, and the music would be a big character and this and that. And that was one of the problems I ran into. There's a one scene that was supposed to be a big one shot. So we would go follow the guys, bringing the body out the house. I would zoom in, follow them, and to the car. Gabe would forget the keys, have to run back in the house, and the music is heightening. They're worried about if neighbors catch them or who's coming by, anything. It was supposed to be a 1 minute long take. It was so bad, and I couldn't get it to work. And we maybe did that shot 10 times. And at that point, I had to call it quits and go, we're not getting that shot. And there's a little bit of the shot in I released a couple 10-second, 20-second teasers, and there's one where they're carrying the body out and it's a little prolonged. That was part of the shot. And we go past the car and everything. What happened was, when we got to the apartment complex, it was my friend's complex that we shot it at, it was empty. And then suddenly at about 5 o'clock, which makes sense, everybody's getting home, everybody was home. And they're all watching us, and they're watching us lug this guy across with fake blood and everything. We're like, oh man, we're not getting the shot. And because it was so windy that day, the boom mic I had clipped onto the iPhone, it started clipping bad. I didn't have a wind guard or anything. So it was, the audio went to shit, the shot went to shit, and it looked cool, but I was like, this is not gonna work. It's bad. This is a bad shot. So that was the one that really kind of changed everything. And then there's a few jokes that we kind of just let go on for a while because we were too busy laughing. My uncle Leo plays the Tamale Man in the Belgian Fresh Market parking lot.
Star of the movie, if I can be so bold.
Yes, I loved that character. I want this character in everything you do from now on.
Your cinematic universe can have that character coming back in every single movie, and nobody would complain. It'd be like the Stan Lee cameos.
I no, he did good. We were shocked. I didn't know what to expect. He was, he really wanted to be a part of it. He also helped produce the movie. So like getting locations, getting our audio cleaned up. Matt, who cleaned up our audio, did like a hell of a job because we ran into so many sound issues. Sound people are so important on film. So when you have just me running around and I'm using just a fucking plug-in iPhone external mic that went to shit, then we have to switch to lapel mics. Sometimes it's just the regular iPhone audio. There was a lot of issues we ran into. So we were lucky that we had a sound person as good as him to just like clean up the entire thing to make sure it was ready and good to go. So yeah, Leo helped a lot with that, and then he came and he played the character. That whole scene was different in the script. It was like really quick. It was supposed to be the Jay character crying and kind of having remorse over what he did. And then the tamale man would come on a bike, which we didn't have access to that day too. He was supposed to roll up on a bicycle and then sell them on the tamales. And then he would point to Jay and say, in Spanish, he looks like a good boy because he was crying. He looks tell him he's strong like Hercules. He doesn't need to cry. And Gabe would translate it to him and tell him. And then it just turned into something different where I wasn't sure if any of those jokes were gonna work because I was like, oh man, it's kind of rapey. It's like super rapey. But we were laughing too much, and we're like, you know what? Like at this point, it's got to go in there. And it went on longer. There was a lot more stuff that we just cut out. I think the first cut before I sent it to anybody to watch was like 11 or 12 minutes, and then I just cut a lot of it out, and then I sent like an assembly cut to you guys. Whoever it was, everybody, before we finalized audio and color correction.
So what, I guess, how long did this take to make from writing the script to production to post-production and everything?
Yeah, so I wrote the script in one night. We were in a hotel still because we were waiting for the apartment keys. So we were there and we had the creative juices flowing and we were talking about different projects, and I wrote the script in one night. We talked about it. Nobody really read the script. We were just all ready to go. So it's like, all right, like we got these days. We looked over things. Gabe started reading the script. We sent it out to Herbie, Leo, and then I started storyboarding and shot listing throughout the week. Another week goes by. We finally finalized, and we were also thinking about, well, how are we going to shoot this? We have a camera. I didn't have any lenses, and I was like, we could shoot it on the iPhone. I didn't use any lens adapters or anything. I shot it on the Blackmagic app. There's also Filmmaker Pro, which is a really good one too. I just preferred Blackmagic because it was easier to use. There was a couple issues I ran into with like shutter and exposure, which kind of sucked, but that's the iPhone. I mean, there's nothing to really do about that. It's very sensitive. But Blackmagic had great stabilization. It was just great on the go. So that was what we used there. We shot it in 2 days, on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. And originally we were gonna wait a while to do the rest of the shoot because Leo wasn't available, and Gabe was so pumped about the film and the footage that we had. He just called Leo and said, we need you to shoot tomorrow. We need to get this footage down and we need to finish this movie. And we were able to finish it in 2 days. I had a rough cut the following night. I just was at it for like 6 hours straight. We would watch it throughout the week, keep watching. And then we ran into some more audio issues. The first score, actually, the composer was Gabe's work friend. And he had done it in collaboration with his buddy. And there was some back and forth over whether they liked the score, if they wanted to deliver it. So there was a whole situation with that. We waited another 2 weeks. So I would say it was like 3 weeks total. I was done with like a picture lock in about a week and a half on color, runtime, credits, all of that. We were just waiting on the score at this point. And our sound guy, Matt, he had everything done within a day and a half, 2 days, because he said he started it. We thought he would take long, but he said he enjoyed it so much that he just finished it. So it was really the score. We were waiting. We didn't know what was happening with it. And then once we finally got it, we were able to finish the movie and just put it online.
And congrats on the success that you guys have accrued.
Yes.
I mean, I think by like the second day, you guys had already broken. Just tell us where the numbers stand, so I don't misquote anything.
No, I think we were at like 850 views right now.
Wow.
We were shocked. I thought maybe I would get like 100 views on it, maybe 20 likes, something like that. We tried not to think so much about it because my big concern was like how well the jokes would translate, because it felt so inside jokey, and it felt like, to me, watching it, I'm like, I mean, you'll get this too, Gabe. It's just when you watch your stuff so many times when you're editing, it starts to sour on you.
Yeah.
And then you start going, I should have got more coverage here, more reaction shots, should have done this, I should have done, and it was driving me crazy. So that stuff was running in my brain. I'm like, I don't know if these jokes work. But people really liked it. And, I think the first night we had like close to 200 views. So it was when we first dropped it, there was a lot of viewers that we got. But as it stands now, like 850, which that's way more than I thought it would get.
Yeah, almost 1,000 for a short film. I mean, on YouTube,
a new channel. On a
new channel, yeah. So congratulations on that. Where does Good Me Host Productions go from here?
I personally think we just double down on what we've done and do something bigger and better. We've talked about, should we do a bunch of smaller movies, like, and go the content route? I personally don't think so, and that's something we've had conversations with. The next script is already written. I'm rewriting it again. So the first draft is done. Working on the second draft right now. But we want to go the festival route and see if it's possible, and see if we could get in anywhere. That's a very different kind of movie that we're doing. It's more Hitchcockian. It's very slapstick. It's almost like a dark comedy, like Looney Tunes sketch in a way. But it's a lot of Hitchcock in there. That's what I wanted to go with it. So that's what we're working on next. It's called They Don't Die Easy. So everybody's involved, and we're kind of stretching out the crew that we've built, but also we have other people joining us, and we'll have real actors this time. Well, a mix of them. And there might be some faces that come back, but real actresses. We got some real actresses in the pipeline. But that's the film that we're putting all the effort in right now, is They Don't Die Easy, which is will be about maybe 20 minutes in length, and we're hoping to start shooting within the new year. So we've just had a meeting last week, me, Gabe, and Leo, just talking about budget and planning and crew. So we're like all in on that. That's where we're headed.
Yeah, I mean, I have to echo that 100%. Seeing you guys out there having fun doing this, it's been years since I've made any moves with scripts or anything like that to actually get something going. So seeing you guys out there and doing cool things is really cool. But this isn't it. I know you guys have Good Miho Pictures, which I'm excited to see what comes next. But also some different things on the YouTube front, seemingly. Tony and Gabe versus the Movies was an announcement that we saw on Facebook not too long ago across your social media channels. Any word on where kind of that is, or what you guys are looking to do with that along the way?
Yeah, I know we're gonna do it. I think we were just kind of taken aback by the whole process with Bandits. It was supposed to start off as such a tiny thing, and it turned out a little better than we were anticipating. So I think right now we're just so hyper focused on the next movie, and if me and Gabe have time, we're gonna do Tony and Gabe versus the Movies. But all the chips are in on making films. So I think that's where we're headed. We're just too amped about the next one. So I know we want to do it, but I don't know when. And we announced it. We were just, goddamn. Maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, can you guys, kind of consider this you both are like consistently collaborating and working together, and it can manifest in different forms. You have a film production, and then you have commentary, podcasting, whatever you want to call it. I mean, is that how you see this joint venture that you and Gabe are on right now, like two sides of the same coin?
Yeah, sure. And what's cool about Gabe is he's just down to to be involved in anything, and he gives 100%. You know, even I was taken aback by his performance in Bandits. You know, the whole time he kept asking me, like, "Am I like you're not really giving me much?" Like, and I couldn't stop telling it. Like, I just you're playing it exactly how I wrote it. Like, it's hard to really tell you. Like, you're doing great. Like all the coverage, everything I wanted you to be with this character, it's exactly what it is. Like I was really shocked by that. So it's the same thing when we do like podcasts, and we're always on the same page. So I mean, yeah, it would be cool to do those both at the same time. I know we really want to do Tony and Gabe versus the movies. We love doing Flopbuster and meeting everybody, meeting you guys and whoever it was on there, Cody Leach, Lee. But yeah, we're so excited about just making movies right now, you know. Yeah. And Gabe's been great, whether it's just producing, and he's been pulling in a lot for the next movie. Just things I'm like, oh, we could get that. All right, cool. Or even helping me clean up, you know, when I'm writing, and he'll throw a couple ideas at me. But yeah, no, he's great to have aboard.
All right. Well, Connor, do you have any other questions before we can tell people where they can find Tony's short film?
No, I think we wrapped it up nicely there. Just excited to see where this continues to go. I'll be keeping my eyes on it. I know that I know you guys know that Gabe and I are always available for feedback, for help, if possible, for anything. So
yeah, you know, I don't live.
Excited to see what comes next.
I don't live too far from Chicago now. I last time I looked it up. I'm like a 5 to 7 hour drive from Chicago, which, coming from Texas, that's actually kind of mind blowing. Like,
and I got family there, so you know, anything works, right?
Yeah, but I think you know, really bright things are in store for you guys on filmmaking front. I mean, you know, with the, you know, because this is obviously a spontaneous project in some ways, but you know, with the care and the attention and the fun you guys had. Really excited to see, you know, what you do next. And yeah, I mean, tell our audience, where can they find this short film, and where can they follow you guys to make sure they're up to date on all of your new ventures? Yeah,
of course. Thank you guys again. This has been a lot of fun. It's cool talking. It's so weird talking about something like that. It almost makes it feel like a real movie. But no, you can watch it.
Man, hey, remember, Sean Baker started his career with a feature shot on an iPhone.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I used Tangerine as a point of reference a little bit. But I was like, yeah, but it's like that, but like way more stupid. We can't make that. But yeah, we got Good Neo Pictures. We want to just, you know, really double down on films on there, so you can find that on YouTube, and that's what we'll update on the next movie. We should have like a behind the scenes video soon, and maybe a poster coming along the way. Yeah, that'll be Bandits on YouTube. Also, we posted it on TikTok. Gabe's got a following on TikTok. He does a lot of videos on there, so we posted it on there as well. So if you can find Gabe on TikTok, Capital Cookie, he does a lot of film reviews and videos. The film's on there, but I think you should watch it on YouTube. That's where like the best quality is uploaded. And yeah, that's really it right now. We're also on Twitter, and we made an Instagram as well at Good Miho Pictures.
Yeah. Now you guys don't be strangers to Not That Bad. Don't be strangers. Yeah. We've missed you over here.